Welcome back to Conference USA Media Days in Dallas, Texas. I'm Ron Thulin. Old Dominion, second season in the FBS, first full season in Conference USA, and their head coach, Bobby Wilder. Bob, good to see you again, buddy.
Great to see you. Good to be with you.
Taylor Heinicke, the quarterback of Old Dominion. We'll have a lot to talk about him, one of the outstanding players in all of college football, and also joining us, Andre Simmons, the senior linebacker, former defensive back, also joining us. Gentlemen, good to see you. First of all, Bobby, you know, you started the program from ground up. You're 46-14. Last year, I called the Pitt game you had. You had an opportunity to win that game.
Right.
Are you farther along than you thought you would be at this point, or about where you thought you'd be as a program?
Yeah, much farther along than I thought we'd be. It seemed like we were just playing our first game a few years ago, and now we've made this rapid ascent from FCS program, now joining FBS in a great conference in Conference USA. And you mentioned the record to be 46-14. Right. You know, we're the best startup program in the history of college football. So to have the level of success we've had, to have the quality of student athletes that we've had within the program, but none of it's possible if we don't have just incredible support from John Broderick, our president, our athletic director, Wood Seelig, and then the fan base.
But also I think the players buying in.
Right.
Has that been the biggest thing for you?
It has, yeah. We've had a philosophy from the start of our program that we call Aim High, and that's all about recruiting and developing good people, good students, good football players. And to do that, you've got to have an atmosphere where the kids are excited, where they feel like they can have fun, and that's something we've been able to create at Old Dominion that's worked well for our program. Especially
on the offensive side of the football. We'll be talking to Taylor in just a minute, but you were one of just 6 teams to have 4 players catch 40 or more passes. It's not a selfish offense. You don't have that one guy where he's going to catch 98 and everybody else is going to catch 20. It seems like you spread the ball around. That's tough to defend.
It is, and we've had this philosophy from the start of our program that we were going to try to build an exciting program. There are not a lot of 10-7 games in our program. You know, we're a wide open style on offense, which it puts more pressure on our defense, but that's been the philosophy from the start. And now what I feel like we're establishing is having this great offense and now a defense that's developing. You know, we talked about those 13 true freshmen that played last year, got all that experience against that great competition from the ACC and the other conferences, so that the program is developing. We're getting better all the time.
I want to give a comment that I read that you said. You said, this is our first year in Conference USA. We haven't done anything yet, so we should be humble. Has that been stressed to this team?
It has. We're taking the approach similar to what we did back in 2011 when we joined the CAA, the top conference in 1AA football, and we needed to go in and prove that we belong. And that first year we were picked to finish next to last in the league, and we ended up tied for second and went to the national playoffs. So our approach this year is to come in, to be humble, to be hungry, to try to earn respect around the league, which we're going to need to do right from the start with those games at Rice and then home to Middle and Marshall. But that's the approach we've taken. It's worked well for us in the past, and I'm sure it will this year as well.
Well, you look at what would need some improvement. I would think it'd be defense, but I'm going to stand up for you on this because you were very young on the defensive line last year. I think you had 6 first-year players that started at some point during the season. Now they've got that experience, and as you mentioned, you had to play at Pitt, terrible weather. These guys learned last season.
They did, in some very difficult situations. We played 5 FBS games last year, all on the road. We were at East Carolina. We were at Maryland back-to-back weeks, at Pittsburgh, Idaho, North Carolina. So this young, inexperienced defense and guys like Andre Simmons, our veteran players, did a nice job with the younger guys. They had to learn in difficult, hostile situations, and that was a challenge, which we knew it was going to be. We knew we were going to take our lumps, but the goal was to be competitive in those games and help develop this young talent, and we've done that, so I feel like we'll be much improved this year.
Well, let's talk to Andre, senior linebacker, was second on the team in total tackles last season with 78. The moving of positions, did you go to the coaches or did they come to you, and why was the move made?
Well, the coaches came to me, and the move was pretty much made because we needed some experience at linebacker, and we've had a lot of inexperience as the defense has mentioned. But I think it's a good transition, and I think it helps the team overall on the defensive aspect, and I'm ready to make that transition this season.
What type of linebacker are you going to be? Is it going to be a hybrid kind of linebacker, the DB linebacker kind of combination?
Pretty much of a hybrid combination of safety, outside linebacker. So I think that will help us benefit this season in our scheme as a defense.
Has the transition been easy for you?
Yes, it's been easy. I played a lot of nickel at one point, And so it's pretty similar to the nickelback position, and I feel a lot more comfortable being closer to the box and where I can make more tackles and more plays.
You look at the numbers last year. We talked about the youth you had on defense. How much of a learning experience was that for you as a veteran to teach these younger guys what it takes to play on this level?
It definitely was a great learning experience, just because dealing with a lot of younger players or whatnot, and I had to help them transition as players and develop along with the coaches, and it pretty much helped us as a defense throughout the season. We took our lumps, but I could tell from last year to this year it's been a great jump, even with the scheme with Coach Nagy, pretty much having him as for our second year. So I think it will help us benefit for this year, even though we took a lot of lumps last year as a defense.
Well, let's turn our attention now to quarterback Taylor Heinicke. He is the FBS active leader in passing yards, yards per game, total offense, touchdown completion percentage, over 10,000 yards. Do you get tired of hearing that?
I do.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I could tell because you're kind of doing this when I was saying it, so I figured you're getting real sick of people telling you that.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, how do you look at those numbers? I mean, are they important to you, or is it going to be what everybody always tells us sportscasters? It'll be important in 30 years.
Yeah, like you just said, I think it'll be cooler in 30 years. Right now, the main focus is winning. It's a team game, obviously, and that's my main focus right now. But I think when I look back 10, 15, 20 years from now and I see all those things, I think I'm going to be very proud of those.
When I went back and looked at the Pitt game, and I hate to keep bringing that up, but it was very impressive to me. You kept, as a player, you just kept coming at these guys. And I think they underestimated you. Is that a fair statement, do you think?
I think so, but again, you have to give credit to the offensive line. They had Aaron Donald on the defensive line, and he was drafted in the first 20 picks of the first round. He touched me maybe twice that whole game. I didn't get sacked. I think I got sacked once that whole game. So they did an outstanding job. So I give all the credit to them.
I don't think Donald touched him the whole game. I think he's being very kind, because I looked and Donald was not even a factor in that game, and now obviously playing in the National Football League. I read a quote from a number of different coaches. I was asking coaches and talking to them and reading about you, and I said, what is his number one attribute, you as a quarterback? And everybody said, your brain. Do you take that as a compliment?
I would agree. But again, with the help of Coach Whip and Coach Wilder, Coach Scott, if I wasn't in this type of offense, I don't think I would be as successful as I am today. They really make it easy for quarterbacks in our system to be successful. And again, I give all the credit to them. You'll see you have David Washington, my backup quarterback. He had a better completion percentage than me last year. And then we have a freshman quarterback that just came in, Schuler Bentley. He's going to be very good. He's been doing some 7-on-7s this summer. He's going to be a very good quarterback as well. So again, when every quarterback comes into our system and is successful, there's a reason for that.
Now, I talked about his brain, but when you look at tape of Taylor, I think he's more of an elusive runner than people give him credit for. Fair statement?
Yeah, I would agree. He's been a starting quarterback for us for 3 years, and he's averaged 500 yards and 10 touchdowns rushing each year. And we don't have a running play in our system for him.
You don't?
That's him. Those are the decisions he makes when to keep the ball. And as you can also tell, he's very humble. He's got a chance to be top 5 all time after this year, and it's everybody else's accomplishment. But to get back to your point about that elusiveness, there's the ability to process information. That's what the great quarterbacks have, because they've got to process information in about 2.5 seconds, and that's what separates him from other quarterbacks.
And he's a true sense of a leader, because you look at games and tapes of your games, and when you weren't on the field, the defense was on the field, I watched you coaching guys up on the sideline. And I think that he has got that innate ability that a leader has, is just coaching guys up, even though he's not on the field at the time.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what you need to do in a position of leadership. That's something he does as a captain. That's something Andre does as a captain. You've got to have that ability to not think about yourself, think about your teammates and how to make everybody better, and that's what they're doing.
Every time you call an audible, another hair goes out of his head. Did you know that? I don't know if you knew that or not, but that's
I've lost a few of them.
We talk about his brain. He goes, hey, I can do this. Not a problem. Gentlemen, thank you. Taylor, good to see you again. Seriously, enjoy the season. Good to see you. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Yes,
I wish
sir.
you the best of luck.
Appreciate it.
More from Dallas, Texas after this.